So would you believe me if I said that Wuthering Waves had made the most broken main character in the game? No joke. Like, they hit for around Zhongli damage numbers, but it's the main character and you just get them for free. So if you notice, if you've been playing the game, mine says HAVOC. After you beat the main story for the first area, you will get the new subclass, HAVOC, which not many characters have HAVOC right now. I think only 2 or 3 others. I think the new 5-star that's coming out in like 15 days has it. It's a very cool subclass, and sorry if I say subclass because it's basically that, like if you think of Destiny and stuff, but anyway, their skills and stuff, like I don't even have that much stuff going on. Like I still have like blues and purples instead of golds, and I'm only rank 30 for adventure rank, and their stuff is pretty strong. So they have some constellations you have access to also, which are gonna help you throughout the game. Fair. And they also don't have any of those stupid ones at 3 and 5, which just level up skills. They actually do something. Like this one gives you sustain. This one gives you a lot more damage on your basic attacks. So there's a lot to go over with HAVOC MC, and I think I should start by explaining how all the abilities work and everything, because obviously the game's new, so this whole thing probably looks confusing as hell to a lot of people. So, to start off, basic attacks, obviously. Basic attacks are the base thing you do when you play the character. Let me hop out here. So, his basic attacks look like this. On HAVOC MC at least. You got a little archwing, like archangel wing, whatever. And it has some pretty cool damage scaling. You also got the heavy attack. It's pretty good. And then if you see that funky bar on the bottom, that is, let me check in here because I'm newer. That is the Forte Circuit, which is a special bar you get from dealing damage or even just using your skill, which is, for me, RB, if you see on the controller menu, where all you do is just hit this button. RB is the skill, so when I hit it, you'll do this 2-hit thing, and then put your wings away. But if you look at the bottom, now my bar is filled. So if I hold X, I enter this cool state where I can use a scythe instead of my main weapon. So in this state, you'll see the bar going down, but instead my basic attacks will look like this. And you get a lot more range and a lot more damage. Your heavy stays the same, but your basic attacks do a lot more damage. That's the whole state basically. And whenever you get constellations, there'll be like a thing to refund your skill whenever you heavy attack and all that. That's cool too. So let's go find an enemy and I will show the ultimate, which is, I think, the best part. Obviously this area will look different for you when you first start because I did a main quest that made it not hellfire everywhere. So let's go test this out on Mr. Inferno Boy. You'll see I'm already hitting for 1,000 damage numbers, and I am very low optimized on this character. I'm gonna swap to my other character so I can just build up some shield and stuff, and show you the intro skill, which is another thing you can do. So if you look at your characters on the top, you'll see how they start glowing? That is what the intro skill is. Whenever you swap to a character, they'll do a cool little move. When they do that cool little move, they can do a bunch of different things depending on the character. But this character just does damage. So you see all my damage numbers, how they've been around like 1,000 to like 200 around there. If I use my skill, it's been like 1,000. So let's use the ultimate. Let's wait for him. You see? That hits for almost 6,000, and I am not optimized at all. Showing that he is very disgusting with his abilities. And this is his little resonance state. Or forte, whatever they call it. So it does a lot of damage. For obviously starting out, because I don't have any real good stats. I have a little bit built in the crit damage, but I have barely any crit rate, so. So like, see, those are the stats I get from all my artifacts and stuff. Not too much. I mean, the crit damage is good, but everything else is like garbage. So this character just hits for a crap ton of damage, and I feel like a lot of more people should be focusing on leveling the MC because they are pretty disgusting. The MC, it takes a while to get to the HAVOC MC. The Spectre MC is still okay. It does not hit nearly as hard, but it's still decent. So if we swap on over, go look at the skills. I have this level 1, so it's not as much, but see, look, 100 to 340, or plus 340. So it does 440 base. Let me level it up a little bit. See, it doesn't scale too crazily either. Here, it's the same level. This is the same level as my HAVOC one, and you'll see it only has half the damage, which is just disgusting to me. That the HAVOC one is literally double damage, basically. And its skills are a lot cooler and flashier and everything. So, how should you build MC? Well, from what I have gathered, obviously ignore this because fusion is fire and I'm not on fire, but it's just the best relics I have. The relic system works a lot more complicated than Genshin and Sorrow. So you have 12 slots, and some of these guys, you'll see it has a 3, a 4, a 3, 4. You go down here, you'll see some 1s. Every one of these has their own little cost amount, and you'll see my number up top change with each one. If you see, if I go to one that's like more than I can handle, it'll say, hey, you don't have enough. So these relics are from killing beasts and collecting them to use them, basically, is like your own little relics, I guess. I don't know how else to say it besides making them like your pet, basically. And they are pretty crazy. Like this one. This one gives you 30 spectro damage and then 5 different substats, and they scale a lot higher, like crit rate 7.5. So you will see that you have 5 different subsets, 2 main stats that level with it. So there's a lot more creativity you can do, and there's no set slot for anything either. There's no like, oh, this slot only has health, this slot only has attack. All of them are in the same slot. Every single one of them. So you can just rock like 7 things of crit damage if you want to. It just all depends on your build. So the main one I would probably go for is probably this one. The Sonata effect with Sun Sinking Eclipse, which obviously it's a little RNG because you have to get it from HAVOC enemies, but it does basic attacks and it's based on basic and heavies, and that is mostly what you're going to be doing with your MC, is basics and heavies. Because your ultimate has a very long recharge time. I would probably try to get 1 energy recharge if you can. At some point. Obviously, crit damage, attack. I wouldn't really focus on HP and stuff. I would focus on getting a support to support the MC. Like, what was her name? Baiju? I forget her name. You. What's your name? By G is a good support. We also have... You're a decent... He's like a sub DPS, so he can... He's kind of like Xing Cho of this game, where when you use your ultimate, it sends out like fire flares while you're doing it. They are a good little sub DPS. If you have Jianjin, they are very good for shielding to help protect you so you don't die as often or worry about one-shots as much. There's also some in the store. Let me see. Verena, I believe, is the #1 support right now. Sorry, I'm doing this video late. I believe she is the #1 support right now because she is like a buffing type skill to give back custom. Okay, cool. Anyway. So, HAVOC. Its damage type doesn't really matter too much. HAVOC is just a different damage type to add more to the game. There's no like reaction type things like Genshin. At least from what I've seen, I haven't had anyone like have weird reactions to each other or anything. And then you also have some of these talents that are pretty good to get too. Most of them are just base kit upgrades. But this middle row gives you 20% when you're in Dark Surge state, which is the giant bar you have on the bottom. And this recovers energy whenever you hit people. So they are very good to get. Like I said, main teams are probably going to be a sub DPS and a support. YG will be a suitable support until you get Verena if you are going that route. If not, you can always wait for a new one to come out, or use Jianjin if you like her more, obviously, because she's good at shielding with her forte. Where is it? Oh my god, there's so much. Shield healing, see? 875 plus 29% of attack, I believe it is, so... She does give quite a chunky shield, which is about like half your bar, at least for around like 8,000 HP. And yeah, that is most of the stuff I've noticed with HAVOC MC. Oh, boss spawned in again. We can do another run. He is very good at breaking shields too, what I've noticed. So you should definitely use him for at least shield breaking, even if you aren't going to use him as a main DPS. Oh. I haven't fought this boss too much, so I'm not used to him yet. But you should definitely try to go for HAVOC MC and focus on building them a bit. Because they seem like they're probably going to be one of the top characters later in the game. Because right now, everyone's still learning stuff, so it's not crazy. But later on, he's probably going to be one of the top guys. I can show you the shield. See the shield on the bottom, you see the lines on the bar. As you do them, more shield will generate. So now I have half bar of shield, so I don't have to worry about dying. Look at that, 10k damage. Because I broke his bar at the same time. He just does a lot of damage. It's just so fun to use. And you see there, that's how you collect monsters. You just defeat them, and the game will give you monsters with a luck type system with the data bank. See, drop rates at 20% for me right now. But if we go up, enhanced drop rate, you'll see that changing. You just gotta level up by collecting monsters, different types of monsters, and leveling them up. So, yeah, this is a little guide thingy I feel like I should tell people about, because most of the characters in this game are viable. Like the one character I don't have, I forget her name. She's part of the event. She's like, her whole thing is based on parries. but she's crazy. Let me just do this real quick so I can see her. This girl is pretty crazy. I did a run with her and I was hitting for disgusting numbers, about 10k per swing with her enhanced parry attacks. She has a whole mechanic of her own where she blocks attacks and counters attacks. So she's a very good one to get to if you want a character that is very busted right now. Obviously RNG, because you don't get her at all from just playing the game, at least for right now. So I would definitely try to do that. Make sure you're doing your dailies every day so you can level up quicker, because leveling up in this game is a struggle. And a lot of the stuff is very, very expensive. Like, killing a boss and collecting the rewards is like 60 resin in this game, which is nuts to me, compared to the 40 in Genshin. And it still only has 240. So it's like, ooh. It's too much. Look at that. So it's just like, and they don't give you many of those, like, fragile resin or whatever they're called in Genshin. But yeah, so that's all I really got for this video, because I'm still testing stuff. I'm still working on everything to see how stuff works in this game. Let me get out of here so I don't die while I'm doing this. Alright. So yeah.
No hesitation.
HAVOC MC is very busted, and I feel like people should build him. Or her, depending on which variation you picked. They are very good to play, and they feel amazing when you fight bosses, because you break their bars so quick when you use your intro skill or your heavy attacks. It just makes the bar go bye-bye. I think this is the most broken we've ever had an MC in the game. Like, most MCs in this game are very weak, like Genshin MCs. The only one that's really good is Sumeru's. Geo's is okay, but... And Honkai Star Rail, your MC's like okay there. The Harmony one just came out, which is busted as hell, but the ones before that, the Fire and the Physical, were garbage. And other games, they've had a lot of the main characters just be garbage, but this is the first game I've seen where right off the bat, they have an MC that's just busted as hell and viable in almost anything. So I feel like people should build them just for the safety option, because you are locked into your main character for a lot of the main story. So you should try to level them up so you don't have to worry about struggling in those fights. And with that, that's all I got for now, and peace out.